Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of If You Know, You Know.
And if you don't know, then
What the fuck? She can't even say it. I don't even know what she's gonna say, guys.
I think if you think a bit,
What the fuck? I'm so confused. Okay.
I think if you dig a little bit deeper and think a bit harder, you will know already. You just need to find it in yourself.
Oh my god, leh.
I think it takes some thinking. But you'll know.
What do you mean, leh?
When you dig, right, you just keep digging. You'll definitely hit
the
goal
spot.
one. Yeah. Confirm one. Just think a bit harder only.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm Nicole.
Okay. I'm Rain.
We're gonna be talking about parenting and childhood trauma. Yay!
Yes.
My favorite.
Our card today is, what is something you wouldn't want to change about yourself? Okay. For me, very easy. My mom pinched my nose until very nice. So I don't want to change. Don't want to change that about myself. Thank you, mom. It hurt like a bitch when I was a kid, but I guess it's all for
my mom used to do
good.
that to me too. My mom used to do that to me too, but unfortunately my nose did not turn out as nice as Rain's. Okay, and for me, oh my god, fuck, I forgot. Oh, for me, I remember now. Is that I'm very loud and I don't want to change that. I got it from my mom as well.
You get it from your mom?
Yeah, my mom is really loud. And I think I'm quite loud too. Like I can be quiet, but
She's very loud lah.
yeah, I'm very loud in general and I love that about myself. So I don't want to change it. Thank you, mom. Okay.
So, wow, diving right into it. What do you think was trauma that you maybe got from your parents that has shaped you today into who you are?
Okay, this is something that I'm still working on in therapy. But I think one very important trauma that has stuck with me for very, very long is the fact that I constantly feel like I have to keep pleasing everyone. Yeah, because growing up, my parents will always be very dissatisfied with things very easily. So and they would vent their anger by slamming things and slamming doors and being physical.
Yeah.
So I think that constantly triggered me because I don't want my parents to be physical with me or be physical with anyone. So I always wanted to appease them and make them happy. And that constantly stuck with me because now I'm okay, I have to please everybody so that they don't turn on me violently. Which doesn't even make any sense because if someone's not happy, then that's their own problem. But why am I constantly
It makes
feeling
sense to me.
Oh really?
I understand.
So we have the same trauma.
Yeah.
Good to know, twinning.
It makes sense to me.
But okay, it might not make sense to some people because it's their own dissatisfaction is their own mistake and their own fault. So why do I have to be responsible for their own dissatisfaction?
Sometimes it's not something that you did, right? It's just maybe something that affected them at work or something.
Yes.
But you can feel the anger and you can feel the tension
Building
even as
up.
you're a child.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Extremely right.
Yeah.
And I always fall prey to that. I'm always okay, I need to make my parents happy. So I have to do this and this and this. But at the same time, it's actually it doesn't matter.
Correct.
Until now, it does not matter because I'm not responsible for either one of my parents' happiness.
Not just I would say you have. Okay, for me, it was not just making my parents happy. Not in that sense, but more so I will do everything to keep keep out of their way and make sure that everything is smooth going so that there is no other reason for them to get angry about
anything
for
at all.
example, if my dad's really angry, right, I'm not gonna leave something on the table that he can shout about or something oh, why never clear the table, this that. So I will make sure that everything that I can do to ensure some peace I will do.
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
That is really, really difficult. Having to survive with that
It
all
feels
the way
you're stepping
going
on
up.
eggshells,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, all the time. And I always feel I'm always doing something wrong all
Does
the
it
time.
carry on until today? Because for me,
Yes.
yeah, for me, right, even when I hear I don't know if it's just for me. I'm not sure if my siblings are like that also.
Mm.
I feel like they're not as sensitive to it, But when I hear someone shouting in the house, right, I'll immediately stop what I'm doing.
Oh, yes. All the time.
Yeah, I'll immediately stop
All
what
the
I'm doing
time.
entirely, right?
Yeah.
If I'm listening to something, I'll just stop and I'll listen for 5 minutes.
Oh, same. Like if I'm watching a show, I have to pause it and I
Yeah.
have to eavesdrop at my door to see whether everything is okay or not.
Yeah.
And whenever that happens, like in the far distance, like when someone is like, for example, like having a public fight outside, like I always have to stop whatever I'm doing and look, or like try and hear and observe if like anything is going wrong.
And make sure everything's okay,
Yeah,
right? Before
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
Yes.
go back to what you're doing.
Yes. And sometimes I won't even go back to what I'm doing. Sometimes I will go out and like just act like I don't know what's happening, but go out just to see whether there's anything going on that I have to put a stop to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing will be for me, slamming doors. Yeah, like I get very, very, very triggered whenever doors are slammed because my mom always slams doors whenever she's angry. And whenever someone's like just frustrated in the house, like doors will always slam, and I always get very, very triggered when I hear it. Yeah, like something's off or like something's wrong. Like who is offended now? Who is hurt? Like I have to go and figure it out. Yeah, so slamming doors is like a big trigger to me. And I only just realized that when I started going for therapy. And I figured out that contributed to a big part of my trauma. Okay, not funny. I shouldn't be laughing.
It's okay, coping mechanism.
Yeah, coping mechanism. Oops.
Were you cane as a child?
Oh, all the
was.
time.
Yeah.
All the damn time.
Belt?
Both cane and belt. Yeah.
Yeah, me also.
It was scary, man. But looking back at it, I find it quite amusing because I was so scared of that piece of like rattan, right? Like that cane.
Yeah.
That I actually threw it out the window once. And because I stay on the 4th floor, right? Like I broke it into half and I threw it out the window. And then my mom made me go buy another one. Yeah. It's that kind of feeling where like, oh, you go and buy what like your punishment weapon is.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then they
like,
make you choose
the color.
Yes, they make you choose your own color, and I'm like, oh
Like which
my
colour
god,
you
yeah,
want.
which color you want to destroy you whenever you're like being a naughty idiot. Yeah, that was like,
Is that something that's supposed to be playful? Because it's kind of...
that's so.
Is it supposed... Okay, I'm just trying to think, right? Like, is it supposed to be playful? Or is it something that... Because if you think about it, it's so sick, eh?
Yeah, it's really, really sick in the mind. It's like, why are you choosing the weapon that hurts you? That doesn't make any sense at all. It's like choosing what kind of gun would be your suicide method.
Like me and my friend...
you and your
me and my siblings used to hide the cane.
Oh yeah, I used to hide the cane too.
Yeah.
And
then when they couldn't find the cane, right, they'll use the belt. So we learned to stop hiding the cane.
Oh my god, because the belt hurts more.
Yeah, no, because
obviously.
my dad sometimes when we were younger when he came home, and he was angry, like he used to wear a belt anyway.
Okay.
So he just used it.
Oh no, he'll just take it out of his own pants and use
Yeah.
it. That's insane.
Until one time,
oh my god.
I don't know whether it was from like whatever like whackings or what but it kind of just started fraying.
That's not a very good quality belt then.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And another thing was like whenever I would fail my spelling last time, my mom would always use like the long ruler and like hit my hands, like hit my palms. So I have to extend my palms up to her, and then she would hit me like 5 or 6 times. But I would get so scared, right, that every time she tries to hit, then I would dodge.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a very natural reaction.
Yeah. Then she'll end up smacking the table, and then she get even more angry. I look back at it now and I feel like it's so funny because like I had quite fast reaction time because I always manage to dodge in time. She'll smack the table, she'll get super pissed off at me, and then she'll be like again, or like one more, like she'll add one more just cause like I dodged the first time. Yeah, so I learned not to dodge anymore because then I realized that I'll get more punishment. So I was a rebel child lah.
I feel like it's a very natural reaction though. Something gonna kind of hit you.
Yeah, like, obviously
I punch you already, you don't move, man.
Yeah, obviously I would want to duck or like move aside, right? But
yeah, it's like if you just stupid stand there get punched. What the fuck?
Definitely not lah. Obviously
Yeah,
I won't move. But if you stand there and get punched, at least you just get punched once. But if you dodge the punch, you might get punched twice. Which is like the effect lah that happens if you dodge lah. So you might as well just let them like punch you once and that's all what. Rather than dodging it and getting punched like double the amount of times. Yeah. Okay, what else?
What else? Okay, I feel like a good example of what how you bring your childhood trauma into your current life, right? An example would be, for example, if your parents used to, like, when they scold, right, they're quite verbally abusive, or like they whack you or what, right? But you know, at the end of the day, they still love you, correct? So when you grow up, it kind of translates into your adult life, and then you think, okay, in a relationship, maybe this is okay. Maybe the guy can say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, he still loves me. Or like,
but that should not be the truth.
Yeah, or like
that
physical abuse or whatever.
Truth. Yeah.
And you're like, no, that's acceptable because you don't realize it. But it could be because, you know, like your parents used to hit you or something, and then like it's something that you feel like is tolerable lah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Which should not be the case, because signs of verbal abuse or physical abuse means that you should just run. But I don't know why like so many like people still don't see the red flag when it's there. Maybe because like what you said, it's how you were brought up, and you think that that is love, and you think that is a form of affection, but actually it's not in the case.
Or maybe like more than a form of affection, it's just something that is acceptable, because even you definitely know that you didn't like that aspect of your childhood, right?
Yeah.
And that way that your parents brought you up, but since it's so normal to you, it's just become something that is acceptable.
Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, you're right.
Yeah. So I think I don't know, before we get any deeper, right, I just want to say both our parents love us very much. They're not bad people. They don't. I am very sure, right, that, I mean, we'll be talking about this very, very soon, but sometimes the methods that our parents bring us up with, or the way they teach us, or like the trauma that they pass on to us, it's not something they want to do. It's very unconscious. And I'm sure that unconsciously, even though we don't want to, we might pass on some trauma to our own kids.
Yeah.
And the only way to not do that is to be as conscious as possible lah. And even then, you never know what might happen.
That's very true. Actually, speaking of which, like, do you even want to have kids?
I do. I want to have like 4 kids.
Wow. Oh, the way that you are now.
Yeah, the way that I am, like my family is now.
Oh, okay. I also want to have 2 kids the way that me and my sister are.
Yeah.
And I want it to be in a relatively far apart age.
Really?
Yeah. Because me and my sister are really far apart, like 9 years difference. But we still can get along super well, and we have such a close-knitted relationship.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and I also love like hanging out with her friends. And that is why I love hanging out with people that are older than I am usually, because I get so much like words of wisdom and like mature like stuff from them that I can't learn like solely from my peers. Yeah, so I love hanging out with people older than I am, and I would love an elder sibling to tell a younger sibling like how to live their life and like how they experience their life and things like that. So that's how I ideally want my family to turn out. Maybe not so much of 9 years, maybe like 6 or 7. Yeah, but I think that would be pretty cool lah, having like, because I'm a younger sibling, so I would want my younger kid to have a older kid to look up to. Yeah,
I mean, I want 4 kids.
Okay, but any reason why?
But I don't know, I think I just, there's so much noise in the family now.
Is
like
it something you enjoy?
Honestly, sometimes I get annoyed by it. Like, it's very natural, right? There's so much fucking noise. There's always so much noise. Okay. And like, I personally feel that as much as I get annoyed by it, I know that in time I will come to miss it.
Especially because you are leaving already.
Yeah. And not just that, right? But we have a very strange bond between like me and my siblings, where it's very unsaid. I would say like everything is very unsaid, but as we grow older, I think now we can protect each other better, and we are still in that phase where we are all transitioning into getting a bit more mature, talking to each other a little bit more, being able to relate to each other more.
That's
because
nice.
yeah, but I would say I'm happy that we are getting there. Yeah.
I have another question. Will you hit your child?
Yeah. Right. I thought about that a lot also.
Yeah, like would you choose to cane or like use physical violence as a form of affection for your child in the future?
I don't know. This question I really cannot answer.
Yeah,
like,
same.
I find it very hard to answer because it's something that I was brought up with, right? So it's what I know. It's pretty much all I know. Like I have not been brought up any other way. Because my parents, it was you only get that
one set of childhood, like
you cannot have multiple, you get what I mean. But I'm not sure. Because my parents always said this, that I feel like now that I'm looking at it, right, I don't know if it's a bit gaslighty.
Oh no, what did they say?
But they always said like, those kids who never gonna hate, never gonna like cane. Look at how they turn out. Like look at how
oh my god.
Look at like they never 孝顺 their parents. They never like
that's not true though.
Respect their parents as much as y'all do, or like they never turn out as well as y'all did, or whatever lah, that kind of stuff.
That's not very true, I feel. You can not be hit as a child and still respect your parents growing up.
Yeah. I think it would depend on the kid. I feel like every kid is very different.
Yes, of course. And of course there is a big part of like depending on how they were brought up. But most of it is also their own ideals and morals and their own like their own thoughts and thought processes growing up lah.
Yeah, I feel like if I do, I will stop at a certain age. At maybe like, I don't know, primary, when they're, I don't know,
primary school?
Like I will stop maybe like they're primary 4 or
who will
something.
continue caning their child in secondary school?
Did I?
Okay,
No,
to be fair,
I
like
don't
I
know.
know like my sister was still caned when she was in secondary school. And actually I was still caned sometimes when I was like in sec 1.
I think me also.
But it stopped like quickly when I was like 14, 15. But I don't think there was a need to cane me anymore because I was so rebellious. Like I was so rebellious that my parents just gave up. Yeah.
I can't remember when my parents stopped hitting. I think still in secondary school have. But like,
wow, that's late.
as we all grow up, right? And as they get more experienced in parenting, they also kind of learn what to do, what not to do.
That's true.
And like, I feel like sometimes we do have to remember that our parents are also human. Like there's no correct way to bring up a child.
Yeah.
And
they are all learning also.
Yeah.
So as they learn, I guess we have to follow with whatever they learn.
Yeah, unfortunately, like my mom likes to say that she made all the mistakes with me.
Oh, because you're the eldest child.
Yeah. So you can't take it back lah,
Yeah.
But you can only explain to them, maybe this is what you shouldn't have done. Then you just learn slowly.
Actually, you know what I would want from my parents? Just like an apology for all the like mistakes that they made on me or me and or my sister.
Oh my god, my parents would never apologize.
Yeah, my parents will also never apologize. But I guess it's like, sorry for causing you all this trauma. Like
do they realize though? That's the question I have. I feel like maybe they don't. Because like unless you are very close to your parents and you open up to them about a lot of things, right? I feel like they don't know the
extent of the trauma that they have given you.
Yeah.
Like
I hope my parents never see this, by the way.
Actually, there were a lot of other things that my parents did that caused the trauma that I will not talk about for now.
Same.
But the reason why I'm in therapy is because of the childhood trauma that I had growing up. But my parents know that I go for therapy, but they don't know that the reason why I go for therapy is because of them. So it's like this big vicious cycle of like, I know, but I don't know. But then I want to tell them, but then I cannot tell them because it's weird and things like that.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's very confusing because I don't know whether I should tell them that like, hey, you're the cause of why I spend so much money on therapy every month. Yeah, but at the same time, it feels a little bit gaslighting as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm gaslighting my parents like, hey, you're the cause of my trauma, even though it is true, like there is no other cause of my trauma other than like what I had growing up and my parents like fighting and then things like that. But it's just difficult to put that in words. Yeah, to phrase it in terms of in a way that it will not be hurtful for them, because they are human too. Yeah, and I'm sure they did not mean to traumatize their kids. It's just the way of life and how we were like growing up. Yeah.
So right, I have a question then. Like, what do you think that you would pass on any trauma to your kid?
Okay, first of all, I would hope and pray that me and my kids in the future would be very, very close. Yeah, the fact that I want them to be able to tell me anything that's on their mind. Yeah. I want them to tell me honestly like how their day in school has been. But in terms of trauma that I think I might pass to my kids, honestly, I think I would cane my kids. I would hit my kids. But only when they are very young. Like maybe like lower primary. And then I will stop after that, because I think that they can learn to think and fend for themselves slowly once they
you
hit
can
like,
explain when you explain something to them, they understand.
Yes, because they are slowly starting to develop that sense of maturity and things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want the trauma to last like until a long, long time lah. So I would want to stop caning them like from a young age. But at the same time, what if I'm so conscious about it that I unconsciously do it?
What is a loop?
I don't want the trauma that I get from my parents to be passed on to my kids. But at the same time, what if I subconsciously do so? In terms of like hitting my child, or like saying all the things that my parents said to me, like, oh my god, you're a failure, or like you can be better than this, like you're a disappointment to the family, things like that. Like, what if I subconsciously pass it on to my kids, because I know that when my parents said that to me, it hit a spot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about.
I think, right?
Yes.
That there's a way, I don't know. Is there a way around it? Okay, I only can speak from my own experience, right? And what I feel like will have made me feel better when my parents did the same thing lah.
Yeah.
So, I know some of these things they always say out of anger.
Yeah, of course. And
right.
they don't
ultimately
mean it. Yeah, they don't mean it.
Like sometimes you just want the best for your kids, comes out in the wrong way. And I feel like after all that anger has subsided, right, you need to go and talk to your kid.
Yes. And say that I'm sorry, and say that all those was said in a spiteful manner.
Explain yourself.
Yeah. Okay, but at the same time, like, because all I would have wanted from my parents was that they didn't say that in the first place. You know what I mean? Because you can say sorry, but you can't take it back.
Yeah.
So I hope that in the future when I parent my child, that I will not say like such derogatory terms to them, like that they're useless or that they are a failure, but rather like try and build them up. But I'm not sure if that kind of parenting will be successful. I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not a parent yet, but
I mean, I know that like my parents do both. Like when they are angry, they say those things, but when sometimes like I don't know what gets into them lah.
Okay.
But like they will suddenly say like, hey, you know that we just want the best for you, right? You know that like we just want you to be happy doing what you are doing, and sometimes we can see the mistakes before you make them. We just don't want you to make the same mistakes.
Oh, I have never heard that from my parents before.
That kind of things.
Wow.
So like on one hand, yeah, it stings, but I still understand where they're coming from. It doesn't take away from some of the things that they say, but it does create like a little loop in my head. Like when in the future when they say these things, right, I'm like, okay, never mind, it's okay, they're just angry.
Yeah.
You know that they want the best still. So doesn't take away, but it does help in a sense.
Actually, I disagree. Because because I feel like all the things that they said to degrade you should not have been said in the first place. Yeah, because it already leaves a mark. Yeah. And then you just spend the rest of your life thinking like, am I really a failure? Am I really what my parents said about me like all those years ago? Yeah. I don't know about most people, but for me, like those things, those hurtful things that they say, like most of them are still ingrained in my brain super clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they might come out and just say random like encouraging things to help you, like in an attempt to get over the horrible things that they say, but I don't think it adds up. Like I don't think it's useful. Because I mean, okay, on one hand, it makes the compliments that much more rare.
Yeah.
But in that sense, why can't you compliment me more? Like, that's all I really want to hear.
Is it like an Asian parenting?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
You know what? Like not a lot of traditional Asian parents from not our generation compliment their kids in front of their kids.
Yeah.
They brag about their kids maybe to their friends.
Yeah, but they don't ever brag about their kids in front of their kids.
Yeah.
They only say like, oh, like she's so playful or like she's so childish, blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't say things that build you up even in front of their friends when you are there. Or at least I have never experienced that.
Yeah, actually.
Maybe it's just us.
I don't know.
I think parenting will start to change because our generation is going to start parenting very, very soon. And I think there might be a spark, like a real difference in terms of like how we parent our kids, because we don't want our kids to turn out the way that we did with our parents' like upbringing. So I think there will be a real difference coming in real soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But at the same time, right, well, I was thinking about it that day, like how I'm going to parent my kids. And I was talking to my friend about it. And I just got into a whole spiral, and I was like, I never want my kids to feel like they can't talk to me. I never want my kids to feel like they need to hide things from me or lie to me. And I don't know, I think when I have kids, it's frustrating because I think I don't want to be that kind of parent who shelters her kids so much.
Yes, I don't want to be overprotective with my kids.
But I feel like I'm going to love my kids so much, right? And then I'm going to want to give them everything that they want.
Yeah, and then
but I should not.
Yeah, it will spoil them. You should not do that, Rain.
Yeah, I should not, right? So in my head, it's a very like, I want to give them everything I have.
But at the same time, like...
At the same time, I should not.
Yeah, because it does not serve them any good in the long run.
Yeah.
Oh, actually on that, I have another question. How old will you let your child like have their first phone?
First phone?
Yeah. You know, I feel like...
Can I give them a brick phone?
Yeah.
Does a brick phone
Yes,
count?
precisely that's what I was going to say. Because like, I want them to learn how to play Snake. And I used to have this game in my phone where like you have the ball bouncing and then like
yes,
it's a Nokia,
bounce.
Yeah, it's called bounce, right?
Yeah,
the
like
Nokia
Nokia
phone, yes, the old Nokia
it's a
phone.
red ball and then like
yes, and then you have to hit like the levels and then you have to jump up and then you have to get the little things.
Correct. And then sometimes you get the big ball.
Yes, oh my god, I love that game so much, and I just want my kids to be able to have that same joy like playing it, because that's one of the rare things that like I
feel like it'll be so hard though.
Oh really? Why?
Because right, okay, like think about it. Maybe when they are like in primary 1, primary 2, still can give them brick phone.
Yes, but
then after that,
4,
right,
5.
If you continue giving them a brick phone, right, I feel like they'll have no friends.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they'll get bullied. And one of the childhood traumas that I had in primary school was like a bit of a bullying phase in like primary 4. Yeah, so I don't really want my child to get like bullied, like verbally bullied or physically bullied.
I would say that okay, I feel like mine wasn't exactly bullied, but I felt very like outcasted because
oh yes, I remember this.
Yeah, in my school, how do I put this? There were a lot of like rich families and parents. Okay. So my parents didn't want to give me like the same things. Because they were like, I'm not going to spoil you. I'm not going to let you be brought up like a bratty princess.
Do you feel like that?
To the extent
do you feel like that worked?
I think it worked.
Okay.
To the extent that they didn't let me have long hair.
Huh?
Because they were like, I don't know lah. Like,
wait, that one
but
doesn't
one
make
of the reasons was like my mom don't want to wake up so early, help me tie my hair.
Oh.
The second one was...
Wow, smart mother.
The second one was like... can't even remember what my mom said. But something to that effect, that if you have long hair, you are, I don't know.
Oh my god, is that
have
why
no
you have
clue.
never really had long hair?
In my
Did it
all
just
my
stick with you?
Huh? This is long hair leh.
This
Is
is
it
not really
not?
this is not really okay. Mine is long hair.
I don't know. There's a certain point where I feel I need to cut my hair because it's too long.
Oh yeah, you see, like maybe
I'm not
that's
sure.
affected by your upbringing.
Maybe, but yeah, no. If you look at my childhood photos, right, I don't have long hair. It's all like
Wow.
cut like here at my ear.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, either at my ear, right, or like here, and my chin, like a bob.
Wow.
Only in
Oh,
primary
that's
six.
quite cute though.
Only in like primary six, then I started to
Grow
be
out
able
your
to
hair.
tie my hair.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow, but that's a really strange like analogy of like if you have long hair then like.
Don't know also. No clue lah.
Oh.
But yeah, cause my parents didn't want to spoil me. So then like I didn't have a lot of things that my friends had. So it was hard to not find common ground. But you know, sometimes when you are in primary school, you're still a little bit like materialistic. You don't know better.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Even now we're a little bit materialistic.
yeah. So I will always like compare with my friends. Then my mom would be like, never mind, just do your own thing. Just
But they don't understand at that phase of life.
yeah.
Like,
Until like, you know, now when we grow up, right?
yes.
Then you actually
look back at it.
realize, yeah, my mom was right. I feel like even though at that point I really feel like you really feel like shit lah, but
Yes. Oh my god.
it's correct what?
It didn't matter.
Don't you? Yeah, it didn't matter. Like
Yeah.
a pencil was just a fucking pencil.
Yeah, you're so right though.
Right? Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
need
yeah,
some
yeah.
pencil with like Hello Kitty prints on it.
Yeah, just cause it costs like $1 more expensive.
Yeah.
And your bag does not need to be like the most expensive bag. Like,
Correct.
it doesn't matter at all. A bag is just a bag.
Yeah. So when you grow up, you start to understand a little bit. It's just that when you are living it, it stings.
Yeah. And you think that your parents don't understand, but in retrospect, like they really do. Yeah.
So I guess there are some lessons that we learned. Oh, we kind of lost the plot a little bit.
Oh, don't we always lose the plot?
Yeah, but you know what? There are some lessons that, there are some lessons we learned growing up, and then we realize, yeah, our parents know better.
But there are other circumstances where like our parents could have done better as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, pick and choose.
In terms
People are
of
not-
yes, in terms of like upbringing, in terms of
Yeah.
like what they advise you, in terms of what they give. They
Correct.
can't always be right, but they're not always wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, don't be so quick to. I would say don't be so quick to brush their words off, but at the same time, learn to discern.
Yeah. What's right and wrong.
Yeah,
Because
and then
they are
improve,
also human.
improve from it from there, lor. Like we can't take away the trauma that we have, but we can not give it to someone else.
That's true. Note to self, don't pass down your trauma to your future kids.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to see
Yeah.
your kids hurt lah.
And you don't want to hurt them either.
Mm.
You don't want to be the one that causes the trauma to them
Yeah.
and then have to pay for their expensive therapy after. Totally not talking about myself, but I mean, I pay for my therapy with my own money, but like, yeah. Okay,
With that,
we've come to the end of our episode. See you guys in 2 weeks' time. Bye.